Yeah. Yeah. Hey, babe. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1198. That's right, episode number 1198 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live today from Red Morton Park. Red Morton Park, a very familiar sight for me. I've grown up at this park. This is my childhood park here, and have not been able to make it up to the trail or anywhere else because lots of other things have been going on. Don and I had a great day today. Today is day 30 of the GNA Positivity Challenge. And today we're going to be talking about confidence speaks for itself. One more time. Day 30 of the GNA Positivity Challenge is going to be about confidence speaking for itself, or it speaks for itself. And it really does. We'll get more into that in just a little bit. First of all, babe, can you hear me clearly and see me clearly? Is the audio normal? It's not echoing? It sounds clear? It sounds decent? Please let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if that's the case. Thank you, babe. Got somebody with a dog over here. I should be able to walk on by. They're running on the grass. Hey, Tia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Today, Tia, we're talking about confidence speaks for itself. I'm sure you know what that means, Tia. I'm sure Don also knows what that means. I'm sure most reasonable people understand that confidence will speak for itself, meaning that you don't have to go out there and say, I'm confident that this is what's going to happen and this and that, right? Because when you're actually confident, you don't have to try to justify it. You don't have to speak about it. Your actions speak for themselves, right? When people come out and say, I'm confident about this and that, what they're truly telling you is that they're not confident. They're telling you they're not confident. In essence, they're projecting, right? And I'm here to share with you folks today that when you believe in yourself, when you have self-love, self-respect, right? When you feel that you are worthy, meaning that you also have self-worth, right? Self-worth is important, right, babe? Right, Tia? Okay. When you have that, that's where confidence stems from. And when you're truly confident because of those 3 important things I just mentioned, self-love, self-respect, self-worth, right? When you have all of that, your confidence is there automatically. And it speaks for itself through the actions that you take with confidence, right? You don't have to speak of confidence. You just let confidence speak for itself. You let confidence show through your actions. All right, we got some people, so I'm going to cross. And we're going to come over here. The outside temperature gauge in the car today said 55 degrees, but it feels a little cooler. It's going to drop a little bit as we walk. I heard from a lot of great people today. I got a lot of emails today from people that are doing well, and they wanted to wish Donna and I a happy Thanksgiving, a belated one. All of these people were busy with their families, and now they're, you know, getting ready to come back to normal, right? The holiday weekend is over. We're pretty much back to normal. It is Tuesday. By the way, I took the day off yesterday. I was helping around the house, and we had a minor plumbing issue. A family friend of ours that is a plumber. He's actually someone that went to school with my brother and I. He was in my brother's class at Serra High School in San Mateo, California, Junipero Serra High School. And in the main kitchen of the house, there was a major clog, and I tried to clear it the night before, because I have tools, but this was just 20 plus years of buildup from a garbage disposal and stuff like that. It even took our plumber, longtime family friend, like literally a couple of hours to clear it out. Like, this was like really deep in there. I have what's called a snake, where it goes up to 6 feet, but that wasn't even long enough. These professional plumbers have longer snakes that go 10, 20, even 30 feet. Now, sometimes that's not necessary. Sometimes, based on the piping in your home, some pipes are longer than others. But anyway, so I was, we had some stuff to take care of around the house yesterday, so I ended up not walking. Yeah, here's the thing. You know what the funny thing is, GLM? How are you doing? I know you sent me an email, and I already responded to you pretty quickly. You just haven't checked. You never check your email. You see, that's the funny thing with you. No, lots of love. You never check your email, because I respond to you pretty quickly usually, right? And then you come on my stream, and say, "Hey, I sent you an email, homie. Hey, homie, I sent you." I know you did. I actually check my email multiple times a day. Come on now. You know I'm giving you a little shit, but it's all good. It's all good in the hood. And I responded to you, GLM, and I go check the email right now, and you will see. Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what, GLM? I can understand your reaction, and I gotta tell you, GLM, I'm really happy for you. You and Flex. I really wish that Flex didn't get removed from YouTube. Flex has really grown on me. He's actually a pretty reasonable, decent person. I think a lot of that. I mean, look, Flex comes from a good family. It's obvious, right? But I think a lot of what's changed my perception of Flex is, your association with him has been really good. And again, I wanted to acknowledge that. I sincerely mean that. I didn't know where this was going to go initially, but I really wish nothing but the best for the both of you if you decide to take things off of YouTube and see where it goes in the real world. I think you two come from a similar type of family. A good, successful family with morals, values, and ethics. And yeah, I just see you two as a good fit, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, right? Okay, BRB. Yeah, she's going to check my email response. But yeah, confidence speaks for itself. And when you allow it to speak for itself, it makes all the difference. I'll tell you, when I was growing up, I didn't have confidence. Flex is a wonderful man. Yes, I'll agree with that. Yes, he is. um, I'll tell you, when I was younger, like I said a second ago, I lacked confidence. I lacked self love. I lacked self respect. It all stems from self love. I didn't love myself. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that kind of made your day, huh, GLM? I'm glad that it made your day. I'm really glad it did. And I think you understand, you know, my response. I think you understand the point. And if you really, really want to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, I think you'll understand my response even more so, right? Hopefully one day I'll get trapped in an elevator with Flex. Well, you two can decide to do that whenever you're both ready, right? You know, if my blessing even matters, you've got my blessing. Does my blessing even mean anything? I'm just some dude on YouTube that walks with a selfie stick. You see, I'm devaluing my self-worth right now, but that's a joke. Hey, that's called self-deprecating humor, right? You all know what self-deprecating humor is, right? If you can't laugh at yourself, then you shouldn't be allowed to laugh at anyone else or make a funny at anyone else's expense, right? It's all good, all in good fun. It's all good, right? Thank you, Eli. Your kind words are appreciated. Well, I appreciate that as well. Thank you. It works both ways. It actually works both ways. But I wasn't, confident when I was younger. I lacked self-confidence, and it really affected me. And people that lack self-confidence, and I'm speaking from my experiences when I was younger, again, where I lacked self-confidence. People that lack self-confidence, at the same time, they also typically lack emotional self-control and emotional awareness. They're very unreasonable. They think that, everyone else is wrong and you're right about everything, when the truth of the matter is, when you're in a situation of lacking self-love, you're going to be more overreactive, and you're typically going to be wrong about everything, and everyone else that's reacting to you because of your piss poor behavior is going to be right. And until you identify that within yourself and realize that the issue is you and not other people, it'll never turn around, right? And so I had to realize, what was really going on with me. And I was so lucky to have good friends, including the friend that's a plumber now. He was in my brother's class, but we were all friends, even though I was a year ahead of them. I was class 92, they were class 93. But my friends were so understanding when I used to lack self-confidence and self-love, and I used to always think I was right about everything, and that my friends were wrong. But it was quite the opposite. I had such great friends that they just never gave up. You see, when you have real, true, good friends, they never give up on you, but at the same time, they encourage you to turn things around and learn to better love yourself and just, become a better, more stable person, right? And that turning point really started happening for me in my mid to late 20s. And in my early 30s is when I really, really started to have more self-love. I'm not saying I completely hated myself when I was younger. I just, I was nowhere near, the self-confident level I'm at today. And I'm only saying that for example purposes. I don't go out there and say, yeah, I'm a confident dude and blah, blah. No, I'm saying that in the context of I'm trying to teach a lesson here and lead by example. So, when I started to turn that around, everything else started to turn around in life. Everything just started to become so much smoother. Now, even once you become self-confident and more self-aware, right? And you have more self-respect, there are going to be times where people are going to push your buttons and, you may go back the other way a little bit, sink back down to the other way a little bit. But once you've experienced the change for the better, even if you start to go back the other way because other people are pushing you around or jerking your chain, right? You're gonna learn to identify it quicker and make the correction much more quickly. We got a car coming here, so I'm gonna wait. Yeah, give me just 1 second. ODN, how you doing? Hello, GLM, Don Eli. Hey, how's it going, broski? Broski, thank you for the messages behind the scenes today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all for your support here. Yeah, so ODN. Today we're talking about confidence speaks for itself. You don't have to say you're confident to be confident. As a matter of fact, the more people come out and say, I'm confident, blah, 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 in any context, is basically a projection and them saying that they're not confident. Someone who's confident doesn't have to reinforce the fact that they're confident, right? Their confidence and actions just speak for themselves, right? It speaks for itself. You see. Come on, I got a lot of cars that are just driving around the lot today. Slowly circling the lot, so I'm going to wait. Okay, we're good. So, when you build up your confidence, you also build up your tolerance for the not so fun aspects of life that we're all going to deal with every now and then. And if there's one thing I hope to help people get better at, which I think will make the biggest difference in your life, and this is what I think most people struggle with nowadays. And give me a second here. The more they claim they're going, it comes off as unsure. Yeah, the more people are claiming that they're a good person or they're the better person or whatever, the more that they're putting that out there, it typically purely is a projection in the context of most aspects when that's said. Not every time. It depends on the context, but typically it's a projection. ODN. Yeah, no, you're right about that. You're right about that. Yeah, we've got a good crowd out here on the soccer field tonight. I'm gonna do 2 laps and then walk around the lot for a little bit. The stream will probably last about an hour, maybe a little over an hour. It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. Confident people leave the house every day. Well, that's true too, GLM. That is true. Confident people are going to be social and not antisocial, right? And so, and you can see that. You can see people that are truly confident or they're projecting. You can totally tell the difference because someone that's truly confident is going to be coming off naturally confident. It's going to flow and just come off natural. Someone that's trying to pretend to be confident when they're really not because they don't want to appear like they're having a bad day or something, you're going to be able to notice that. It's very, very telling. So, and at some point, people that are struggling with a lack of self-confidence, people that are struggling with a lack of self-confidence, most people eventually, by some point in their life, will realize what's causing it, right? And will realize, how they're coming off, and they'll figure out a way to correct it. They will. It's pretty busy here at the and these big trucks are just pulling out. Wow. Okay. It's a busy night at the park right now. It's a really busy night. At some point, for most people, I can't say this for 100% of people because there are some people that struggle with self-confidence for most, if not all, their life. And you can see it in the way that they behave, and you can see how much they overly emotionally react to everything, right? And if you come across people that constantly overly emotionally react to everything, then they're lacking self-confidence. And it comes from a place of lacking self-love, right? Lacking self-respect, and even most importantly, lacking self-worth. So where is that music coming from? All right. I think it was in a car that went the other way finally. GLM says, I got a turkey sandwich and they didn't put any mayo on it. This is the driest sandwich of my life. Oh yeah, I love sandwiches. I love turkey sandwiches with lots of mayo. So does Don. Don, we would not be eating that turkey sandwich with no mayo. Did you ask them for mayo? Did you have it custom made, or did you buy it like pre-made, like at a supermarket counter? If you go during the hours of where the deli is open, they'll make it for you fresh. If they made it for you fresh, they should have asked you. Oh yeah, Don says nope. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Yep. Oh, yeah. By the way, tomorrow is going to be a very, very interesting episode released for episode number 37 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. And, oh, there's somebody over there. Okay. You're not going to want to miss it because I'm not going to get into detail on the topic. I'll surprise you folks, but there's some very interesting information in the entire stream, but especially towards the beginning, we have our monologue, and then right after we're done with our monologue, we get into something that not a lot of people have talked about, but it's a major issue that we have here in the United States of America, where I live, where Don and I live, and where many of you live. When most other countries handle this much differently, the United States I think that dog is out. Hi. You know, that dog is out tonight. The thing is, that dog could very easily jump the fence, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Tia says, hey, Odian. One more lap. You know, during the second half of this show, stemming off of, self-confidence, I want to talk about, what prevents most people from turning things around and having self-confidence. I think a big part of it has to do with owning up to your mistakes, accepting responsibility for your actions, understanding that you're human and all humans make mistakes. And as long as you come out and admit your mistakes and ask for forgiveness and mean it and take actions to show good faith that you mean it, because a lot of people will do a fake apology, right? A lot of people will do a fake apology, especially even out here on YouTube, and a fake apology is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to make your matters only worse. So, hey Gordo, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. I gotta unban Gordo. I keep forgetting that. Jesus, every time he pops in, I forget. I remember. Sorry about that. I'll get to it. That's that big truck that was on the other side. But in order to truly become self-confident, I keep telling him. What do you keep telling me, babe? Oh yeah, you do keep telling me about Gordo and unbanning his other channel. No, Dawn has more than done her part. This is all on me. I'm just forgetting the most simplest thing to do. I'm forgetting. Tia says, hey Gordo. I thought my memory was bad. This simply has to do with this. It simply has to do with it's the easiest thing to do, so it's forgotten. I'm sorry about that. You are worthy, man. I'm so sorry about that. I hope I can remember to do it tonight when I get home from the laptop. But again, part of becoming self-confident is owning your mistakes, owning your past mistakes, and actually learning from them, and accepting responsibility, asking for forgiveness, and just coming out and saying, hey, I'm human, I made mistakes. Yes, I was, not being as truthful as I could have been because I didn't want to get ridiculed, but the truth of the matter is, me trying to cover whatever I was trying to cover up, I'm just speaking, as an example, only made me look worse and came off like a liar and came off untrustworthy and came off lacking extreme self-confidence, right? And I'll tell you, what really, really turned me around is I kept getting called out by my brother, by my friends, by my family, and that's what you need if you're struggling with self-confidence. You need people to call you out and keep bringing to your attention that, your behavior needs improvement without actually saying that, right? Come on, dude. Come on, gal. Hey, we're your friends. You don't have to lie to us. I'm not lying to you. Yes, you are. You have to do that. And it's not the easiest thing to do. But if you're truly a good friend to someone, you will help them become a better person, and hopefully they'll help you become a better person too, right? You help each other out, right? The problem nowadays is a lot of friendships are one-sided, right? A lot of friendships nowadays, especially ones that are online, right? There are a lot of online groups on the internet, YouTube, Reddit, and many other platforms, Twitch and all that, right? And a lot of these people become very close behind the scenes. Let me wait for a few people to pass on by. A lot of people are very close behind the scenes in these groups, right? Or they get very close. And then they basically replace real world engagement with people online. And here's the thing, nothing wrong with having friends online, but if you never get out in the real world and have connections with people in the real world, you're going to really struggle. You're going to be struggling with being antisocial. Right? And that's not a good thing. Because people that are typically antisocial are people that are struggling with self-worth and self-love and self-respect, right? You can turn that around. Anyone can turn around their lack of self-confidence. Do what you have to do to make yourself feel better about yourself. A lot of people, one of the main things I've seen that affects people's self-confidence is being overweight. Okay. I mean, who really wants to be overweight? There are people out there that come out and say, I'm fat and I'm proud. Well, it's good to be proud of yourself, but I don't think it's good to be proud of something that's unhealthy and could cost you your life at a younger age. I think it's more of a cop-out that people use instead of saying, man, I need to eat better and exercise more and drop 50, 100 or more pounds and get healthier, not only for myself, but also for my family and other people that care about me, right? Lewis Fuller, how you doing, brother? Good evening, Eli, and everyone out, or everyone else. Yeah. Odian, hello, Lewis Fuller and Gordo. GLM, Lewis, long time no see, buddy. Yeah. Hey, GLM, do you plan on streaming anytime soon, GLM? See, I'm happy with my own company, says Gordo. Absolutely. GLM says, when I was fat, I hated myself. Fat people are disgusting, says GLM. I wouldn't go as far and say that they're disgusting. What I would say is that people in that condition a lot of times try to justify that condition by saying it's okay, or, I love every pound of me, or something like that. And in my opinion, it's really a cop out from doing the right thing that will turn your life around significantly. You're right, GLM. I bet your self-confidence tremendously increased when you lost all the weight, when you were heavier set, right? You were less attractive to men. You felt less self-confident, right? So you sat there and you're like, okay, what if I drop 50 pounds or 40 pounds or whatever, for example, right? Whatever it was, right? You got back into better shape. You're healthier. You can move around longer. You have more energy, right? You can move around longer each day. You have more energy, right? You're getting more attention from people. And then your confidence rises, and it all just falls into place. And the people that are stuck in this rut and say, I'm okay being fat, they're not really okay with it. They're not okay with it. They've just given up on themselves, right? They've given up on themselves. And the longer that they take to do something about it, it's going to cost them in many ways, including a shorter life. Always great to see you, Lewis, says GLM. It's really gross, that Eli. Says GLM, I don't need lots of male attention. I just like attention from one at a time. Well, yeah, I get that. I'm a one-woman man. You're a one-man woman. I get that, GLM. But it would be even hard to get attention from one if you didn't take care of yourself, right? Now, there's always going to be someone for anyone. Even people that are, overweight can date other overweight people, or sometimes people that are in good shape like to date overweight people. Like, listen, everybody marches to the beat of their own drum, right? But under typical circumstances, right, if you want to attract a decent-looking partner, you got to be decent-looking and take care of yourself as well. But don't do it just for that. Do it for health reasons too, right? And that also includes your self-confidence. It really does. It really does. But I do spend a lot of time in front of a mirror basking at my beauty. I bet you do. I bet you do. You and Don can do that all day, and I'll just keep working. Gordo, besides, I trust the dog more than I trust most people. Hey, I don't blame you for that, Gordo. I trust our dogs better than most people too, besides my own family, and part of my family includes Dawn and her family. Men can't stand overweight women. I wouldn't say all, but I'd say for the most part, I think you're right about that. Same, GLM, says respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don. Me and Don need Sephora trips for Christmas. Well, I'll tell you what. Have your mom load us up with some cash, and then we can all go to Sephora. No. Who's gonna fund that shit? Sephora. You know all the high-end boutique type of stores, GLM. You probably know like Williams Sonoma and there's all those higher end stores. What was the other one back in the days? Abercrombie and Finch, or Fitch, I think. Abercrombie and Fitch. I had some of their clothing. They're pretty good. They're more high end. But now, I get the high end stuff at like 60 or 70% off. I've got stuff I got years ago. I bought a lot of stuff because it was 70% off. I still have unopened Under Armour stuff. I have unopened Under Armour beanies, sweats. You got to get high-end clothing when it's 70% off, and you just put it in your closet, and then your closet becomes like a retail store, and then you never pay full price, but you get the same exact thing, 70% off. It doesn't matter what you pay for it. It matters that it's the real deal, and I would rather pay 70% less. You can ask Don. I've got lots of clothing unopened. I opened it over the course of time. I've opened a lot of my new clothing. Not. I'd say maybe 20% of it. I've opened it. Still have a lot more. I've opened up like 20% of it since I met Dawn, especially when we hang out with her family. Now, when Dawn and I go out, we we dress nice. And then speaking of this, Dawn and I are going to be seeing the movie Wicked later on this week. We're going to be seeing it in Cinemark XD 4K. It's like Cinemark's version of IMAX. Not as good, but pretty close to IMAX. Pretty good, big screen, 4K resolution, better sound. We're also going to have the D-Box seats that move, and also the Real D 3D. That's the only way Don and I watch movies from this point on. We need to have the Cinemark XD 4K, bigger screen, better resolution than 1080p, and the better sound, and have the Real D 3D glasses to see shit coming up right in front of your face. And then also have the moving, babe, you love the D-Box seats. Tell me the D-Box seats. The whole experience with the 3D, the Real D 3D, and the D-Box moving seats. And those D-Box seats, they have 65,000, I read, they have 65,000 different variations of movement that move right along with what's going on the screen. I mean, the experience, I really don't like going to the movies because they're expensive, but because of all that other experience going on, every now and then, like a couple times a year, 2-3 times a year, Don and I will go to the movies. Besides that, we'll wait for things to come out on streaming or on DirecTV. But we saw Wicked, the first one, a little less than a year ago. Actually, I think it was a little over a year ago, about a year ago. And we saw that in XD, Real D 3D, and D-Box. And it was great. Babe, didn't we also saw the Harrison Ford movie in Real D 3D and D-Box and XD? That was pretty good too. Don is nowhere to be found right now. Is he a hoarder? No, I'm definitely not a hoarder. Yes, we did. Yeah, there's Don. So have any of you seen the new Wicked? I forgot what the new Wicked is called, babe. Do you remember? Wicked, it's like a 1 or 2 subtitle name. Yes, he is, LOL. My own girlfriend exposes me with a lie. My own girlfriend is slandering me. Don't worry, babe. You're the only person that can slander me and get away with it, okay? Wicked for good. Yeah, wicked for good. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's called Wicked for Good. I read it's 2 hours and 16 minutes long. I think the first one was like 2.5 hours. So this one's a little bit shorter, but that's still a pretty long movie. Like any movie over 2 hours is really long. And a lot of these movies, these big movies, have been like 2 hours and 15 minutes to 2.5 hours. We're going to have our nice fresh popcorn with extra butter like Dawn likes it. Dawn loves butter like there's no tomorrow. Gonna have our junior mints and some nachos with nacho cheese. Some Diet Coke, it's all good. It's great nowadays. You prepay for your tickets. You get to choose your seats. You show up, they scan your QR code on your phone, and there you go. You could pre-order your food as well and all that. They bring it right to your seat. And it's not that I'm not lazy. I can go to the concession stand. It's not a big deal. But you know, when you work hard like Don and I do, and we don't do it as often, we do the full experience. We'll pay the extra $2 for the delivery fee to your seat. The thing is, you can't tip the theater employees. They're not allowed to take tips. I remember that from back in the days when I worked at a movie theater for 4.5 years. My first job when I was in high school. Right? You can't tip the employees at a movie theater. So they have that $2 delivery fee, and I don't know if the employee gets that or if it's just split amongst all the employees as a bonus. I don't know. I hope they get something extra. When I worked at the movie theater back in those days, minimum wage had just gone up from $3.35 an hour to $4.25. I was making $4.25 an hour, but I had no bills. I wasn't even driving yet. I was 15 and a half. $4.25 an hour. Imagine living here in the San Francisco Bay Area and only making $4.25 an hour. Jesus. Anyway, I run it through Onkyo AV amplifier box with 2 active subwoofers. My screen is huge. It pulls down from the ceiling. Oh, that's awesome, man. You know, eventually when more money comes my way, whatever that may be, whenever I earn more money, let's put it that way. That's a better way. Yeah, no, I want to get a bigger TV. Don and I have a 50-inch TV in the living room and a 40-inch TV. We have a Samsung 50-inch in the living room and a Sony Bravia 40-inch. It's perfect for the bedroom. But yeah, I told Don I want to get like a 108-inch TV or some shit like that. She's like, fuck no, we don't need something that big. I said, well, that's what the future is going to be, babe. We're going to get like maybe it'll be like a 130-inch TV at that point. And we have our dog Bochi that likes to bark at the TV whenever there are animals there, like horses or other dogs or cats. He'll go to the TV because it's so clear that he thinks it's really happening. He thinks they're trying to break into the house and hurt us. So the big dog goes, we call him the TV barker. I wonder, hey babe, let me ask you a question. Do you think 130-inch TV HD, like a 4K or 8K, they have 8K TVs now. If we had like an 8K 130-inch TV, do you think Bochi would be like, oh my God, that dog is so huge, and he would try to go and break through the TV screen. Yeah. You know, another thing I want to touch up on here involving self-confidence. This is something that my lady Dawn brought up to me last week, and I actually used it as a topic last week. And it's a very important phrase that I've been preaching in different ways for years out here on YouTube, but it's something people should really understand. And the phrase is, you're only as good as your weakest link. You're only as good as your weakest link. You could be the best person on the planet. You could be running a business that's great, right? And that business might be doing well, but could be doing better if you didn't have a very weak link, right? A very weak link on your staff, right? You're only as good as your weakest link, right? And so for anyone out there that runs a business, runs an organization, okay, whatever group of people that are run by leaders out there, that group is only as good as its weakest link, right? And that's why in the past I've always said, you are who you associate with. You are who you associate with, right? And now here's the thing. This is a problem that I have seen in many different dynamics, online, offline, in the business world, amongst a group of friends, high school friends, college friends, family, etc., right? Whenever you're a part of a group, right? And let's say you as the leader of that group see someone that's affecting the rest of the group. There's a lot of times, not always, but many times, there's always one person that's dragging down an entire group of people. Could be 10, 20, 30, or more people, right? One person that's a very weak link that basically is completely different in all aspects of the word different. One person can drag down the entire group, right? Now, typically each group has a leader or two, right? And then the rest of the people, they talk amongst each other and the leader, right? And if there's one person that they want to remove from that group, so the rest of the 19 or 29 or 49, right? Because let's say, there's 20, 30, or 50 people in this particular group, whatever it is, right? And one is weighing them down. What is the smartest thing to do? What is the easiest way and best way and only way to rectify the problem is to basically remove that one person from the group. But why don't people do that? Why don't people remove that one person from the group in that situation when they know it needs to be done? Because they know once they remove that person, it's going to be World War 1000. It's going to be thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo Figaro. It's going to be a shitstorm, right? Most people know when they're in a group setting and one person's holding down or holding back the entire group, they know that one person needs to go to save the rest, right? or else the entire ship will sink, right? But they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because if they remove that one person, then that person is going to get emotionally stir crazy and create more issues than there already are within that group. So a lot of times, people will let that one person causing the issue stay in the group, which continues to affect the group in other ways. It's almost like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? My advice in that situation, you got to do the right thing and remove that person. If you have a toxic person in your group that's weighing down the rest of the group, you've got to remove the toxicity or the rest of the group, figuratively speaking, dies, right? You've got to remove the toxicity from the group. No matter how much you fear that person retaliating, and nowadays with YouTube and Rumble and the internet and all that, these people that are excommunicated from a group when they deserve to be, they would then fire back very, very hard at the group, and especially the group leaders that excommunicated them, right? You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. The best thing to do in that situation, in my opinion, is remove the bad seed, remove the seed that's weighing everyone else down, and brace yourself for impact because you know the impact is coming, right? Now, as long as you know the impact is coming, which you do because, that's why many people, wait a while to excommunicate one person that's weighing down the entire group. As long as you know what's coming and you're ready to brace for impact, then you got to excommunicate that person because the longer you take, the worse it's going to get. That's the truth of the matter. We are at 57 minutes. I've got 3 more minutes and I'm going off the air right at 1 hour. We're at 57 minutes. Thank you to everyone for being here. Pretty good turnout tonight. Really appreciate that. We're really beginning to turn things around here algorithmically, and Don and I are so grateful and thankful. So is Tia. Sandra is still a part of the GNA. She always will be, and she'll be back. Sandra's handling some things right now that we're not going to discuss publicly, but just know Sandra is still around. I'm pretty lucky my Discord is well behaved. We all have similar interests to each other, and we support each other. That's good. And you also probably don't tell people in your Discord to go and attack one particular creator whenever he goes live on his channel or whenever he's a guest on other people's channels. You're a good leader. Gordo, you're a good leader. And you're a good person. Like attracts like. Right? But a lot of times, people that lack self-confidence, we've been talking about, self-confidence speaks for itself here today. People that lack self-confidence are going to attract other people that lack self-confidence. And people that lack self-confidence are more prone to attack people that are self-confident because self-confident people just do normal stuff, right? And the people that lack self-confidence, they want to feel a sense of normalcy, but they feel the only way they can reach that is by trying to kick down other normal people. No, that's not the way you reach normalcy. The way you reach normalcy is you become friends with normal people and you allow them to help you work through everything, and you allow them to give you the emotional support you need, and you don't attack the people that are in a better place that truly want to help you. We're at 60 minutes, an hour exactly. All right, folks. Love you all, babe. Get your saying in right now because we're about to be going. I'm going to wait for my lady to put her saying in, then we're going to go off the air. Confidence grows when you choose progress over perfection. Confidence grows when you choose progress over perfection. Confidence grows when you choose progress over perfection. One more time. Confidence grows when you choose progress over perfection. You know, babe, I've been talking a lot about Coach Corey Wayne because I've learned a lot from him in my 40s. You know, you keep learning even as you get older. Learned a lot even in my 50s. You keep learning. No matter how much you've learned by the time you hit a certain age. Every day is a new experience, a new learning lesson, right? And Coach Corey Wayne used to always say, because he would help men, and he helps women too, but more so men would come to him for help for dating advice. He would say, your goal in life is to just get a little better each and every day. Your goal in life is to just get a little better each and every day. You don't have to move mountains, right? You don't have to immediately start off with the highest paying job. Start somewhere and then slowly, each and every day, work your way up. Get a promotion. Then maybe you'll be noticed by other employers and they'll want to hire you at a different job and pay you more money, right? That was beautifully said, babe. That was beautifully said. Confidence grows when you choose progress over perfection. Yes, it does, says Tia. Much loving respect to everyone. Talk to you guys later. Lewis, thank you so much for being here. Lewis, we got to stream together soon, man. We got to stream together, Lewis, because things are really beginning to turn around over here. And every single person, including you, I have to thank for that. Don and I have all of you to thank for that. We really appreciate our community. We don't have the biggest community, but I will tell you this is the best community I could ever ask for. You people are decent people that are reasonable and respectful. Do we have our moments where we talk a little shit? Well, who doesn't? But, you know, we never take things too far, especially for YouTube clicks and fake instigated drama and all that kind of stuff, right? We're leaving 33 in the box. You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you, Lewis. See you, Lewis, says Tia. The key to a good Discord is organized rooms. Everything has a place and a pigeonhole. Yeah, you're right. That was well said, Gordo. Thank you, man. And I gotta unban your other channel. I gotta get that done tonight or tomorrow morning. Please hit the thumbs up. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Everyone have an enjoyable evening. Good night. Thank you, Tia. To be fair, they self-moderate, so the Discord runs itself. Yeah, you can set the bots to auto-mod it. You set the rules. I already read that. It is going to be World War III from hell. And they'll be flying off the handle. Yeah, you were talking earlier when you have to remove that one bad seed from any group, Lewis. When you have to remove, I'll just walk around one more time. When you have to remove one bad seed from a group that's weighing down the entire group, yeah, I mean, it's almost inevitable that the person you remove is going to lash out and clap back. And if it happens, let's say you're on YouTube or Reddit or wherever, right? But let's say it happens on YouTube, it's going to end up being a public spectacle. It's going to end up being a public spectacle, like live stream wars. And, over the years, and I listen, I was a part of this when I first started on YouTube. I didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't even know what was going on. But looking back, I understand it now. A lot of groups have cycles, right? And they have people coming in and out, right? And a lot of these groups, a lot of these creators, they'll use each other for content, right? And then when the risk gets, too high to have certain people around, right? And then you want to disassociate from those people. Then you have to worry about the repercussions of those people that you remove because they've been dependent, their emotional stability has been dependent on being a part of that particular group. But when you have people like that, right, even if they're initially stabilized because now they're a part of a group they feel truly likes them or accepts them, which it's just they're being used. It's not real. When they realize they were used all along, like I said, it's going to be World War 1000. Like it's just going to be, my God. And I'll tell you this: I foresee certain, I foresee certain crazy days, up ahead. And I just really hope that whatever's meant to be through certain groups, I just really hope that things can be worked out and de-escalated and people can move on to bigger and better things. But I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I've lived this cycle on YouTube for years. And like I said, the first 2 years, I was a part of it. Like, I would go on live stream panels and call people out and swear and rage. And I'm like, this is all bullshit. One or two people are monetizing myself and others going on these panels for super chats and donations. And they're intentionally doing things to upset us just to get that reaction to keep the money coming in. And once you figure out how the spigot works for these creators, you learn how to cut off the spigot, right? Actions have consequences, Tia. LOL, Gordo. Here's the deal, Eli. If you forget to unban me, you have to do your stream with no hat. Fair enough, dude. I did send the video of my video of the winter storm from hell in the group chat. I'll check it out, Lewis. Thank you so much. It will be a miracle if he remembers. You're probably right. I'll do my best to remember this time. All right, folks. Love you all. 67 minutes. Just turned 68 minutes. An hour and 8 minutes. Have a good one. Take care. Oh, yeah. Thank you, ODN. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Gordo. Thank you, my love, Don. Respectfully, maturely, professionally. Anyone else here, GLM, and anyone else that I missed. Flex, hope you're doing well. ODN, I think he may have left, but ODN, maybe you can go live later tonight, man. And give me about an hour because I got to run a couple errands for the lady and I, and, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to hear you go live. ODN, man, he has done some great live streams. I love the chill, laid-back commentary that ODN does. Anyway, love you all. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.